Good morning, boys. It's January 28th today. Yesterday we were talking a little bit about lament with Psalm 22, and it's kind of funny today actually. Starts out with a lament. We were talking about how a lament is a complaint to God. There's a couple of things I want to say about that. First of all, it's best that we take our complaints against God directly to God, that we don't try to complain about Him to others or take that to other places. God says we can come directly to Him with that, and that's the respectful thing to do, is to take it to the source. And actually, yesterday's reading in Matthew 18 was that same idea. If we have a problem with our brother, or if we see a brother in sin, we should go to them with that directly first, right? And confront them first. And that's what Moses does here at the beginning of our passage from Exodus chapter 5. The last verse of chapter 5, last two verses, says this: Moses returned to the Lord and said, "Why, Lord, have you brought trouble on this people? Is this why you have sent me? Ever since I went to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has brought trouble on this people, and you have not rescued your people at all." So that's a pretty direct accusation to God, and a complaint that Moses has. Look at in chapter 6, verse 1. The Lord answers. The Lord said to Moses, "Now you will see what I will do to Pharaoh. Because of my mighty hand, he will let them go. Because of my mighty hand, he will drive them out of this country." God also said to Moses, "I am the Lord. I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as God Almighty, but by my name, the Lord, I did not make myself known to them. I also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, where they resided as foreigners. Moreover, I have heard the groaning of the Israelites, whom the Egyptians are enslaving, and I have remembered my covenant." So God says, I keep my promises. I made a promise a long time ago to Abraham, and I intend to keep that even for you. And so he reestablishes his own faithfulness and his own sovereignty and steadfastness, the fact that he doesn't fail to do that which he's promised to do. So very similar to the lament that we were looking at yesterday in Psalm 22, and God actually gives a direct answer to to the people here, Moses. Um, yeah, so I thought that was an interesting kind of follow up to what we saw yesterday with a lament, and God's answer to that is always, "Hey, look to the past. I've been faithful in the past. Look to the future, what I've promised for you, and I'm going to keep those promises for you." So that will help you then to live in light of that in the present as well. So something to think about with a lament. When we have an issue with God, we ought to look back and see where He's been faithful in the past. Remember those things, state those things, write those things down, whatever we need to do, and then know that He's going to be faithful in the present and into the future too, because of the promises that He has made, and because of the fact that He is a faithful covenant keeping God. All right, that's it for today. See you later.